This is Lord Mayor, page 36, or less at the bottom. Baba convened a small group meeting in Rosewood in April 1955 to announce and discuss certain plans, including his intention to go into seclusion for 3 months. Close ones in Baba's contacts, such as Padri Kakabaria Nariman Meherji, Marwan Jesawala, Adi Sr., Dake Balnatu, Gadekar, Jalbai, Behram, and others were invited. Some from different centers in India were also called, such as Dr. Deshmukh from Nagpur, Kishan Singh from Dehradun, and Keshav Nigam from Hamirpur. A few arrived in Satara on the afternoon of 23 April. On this occasion, Kaka bitterly complained to Baba about Krishnaji. If he wants to remain in Marazad any longer, I will have to leave. So Baba advised Krishnaji to come and stay in Satara. Krishnaji was still being highly pampered, and whatever he wanted, he got. For example, he was supplied with costly soaps and oils, the best quality of food and tea, cigars and cigarettes, almost anything and everything to indulge himself. His behavior was quite peculiar. He thought himself an advanced soul, a saint. Baba wanted to free him of this delusion, and therefore he indulged Krishnaji to any extent. Bao again got the unwanted quote unquote privilege of serving him. While discussing matters with the group that evening, Saturday, 23 April 1955, Baba observed, Jesus was conscious as Christ. He was conscious that he was in Judas, and he was also conscious that Judas was not Christ. Jesus knew that Judas would betray him, and still he did not ask him to leave his side. Knowing all, he acted as if he knew nothing. This divine pretense of the all-knowing is the principle on which the divine play, Leela, works. Meanwhile, K.S. Rana and Devi Prasad Sharma of Dehradun had arrived to see Baba. When Baba was residing in Dehradun, they had not been able to have his darshan, and because of that, they had now traveled over 1,000 miles to meet him. One of the men had met the expenses of the journey by selling his wife's jewelry. The other had used money his brother had given him for some other purpose. Baba met them lovingly, but inquired, "Why did you come by defraying expenses like that?" They remained silent, and, as wished by Baba, each was given rupees 100 for their return fare. They hesitated to accept the money, but Baba advised, "Never hesitate to accept anything offered by any God-realized soul, be it gold or dust." So they accepted the sum as his prasad and were sent back after having a meal. The small group meeting began in Rosewood at 8 a.m. on Sunday, 24 April 1955. 36 men, including the Mandali, were present, whom Baba said collectively represented all those persons closely connected with him, and all those who love him and follow his instructions. Baba complained he had a slight cold. He began by stating, "First, we will go to Jal Vila, where I will have to sit in seclusion. Now that you have come here, forget all about your worldly affairs and worldly duties, wife, children, business, etc. Listen carefully and try to absorb as much as possible. because perhaps you may not find such an occasion again. Baba was conveying his thoughts by making signs with his fingers, which Erich would interpret. Others of the Mandalay were also able to read the hand signs, and through them, Baba would speak in several languages as he used to do on his alphabet board. Baba walked with the group to Jal Villa and showed them the small room where he would be doing his seclusion work for 3 months. He stated, "Here I will sleep, and I will not come out of the central room during the period of seclusion. I know well that this period of 3 months, from May 1 to July 31, is one of crisis for me, particularly for my physical body, which might become paralyzed or drop. All that depends upon the strain I have to bear. As it is, I think I may remain here for all of the 3 months, but there is no binding on me. I will have to adjust things as best suit my work. I may come out the very next day and move about freely, go into even greater seclusion, or travel from place to place. Irrespective of all that, I may or may not do, for all practical purposes, I wish to remain in retirement and want that everybody should completely leave me alone for the full period of 3 months." Baba led all back to Rosewood, where, after inquiring about their health and how each had rested the previous night, he observed, "Now, feel fresh. Don't put on a long face, but appear happy and cheerful. Mind you do not yawn during the meeting, or you will be driven out." To avoid having anyone feel sleepy, Baba distributed a tablet to keep awake to each and reiterated, "Don't yawn. Those who appear drowsy will be expelled from the hall." In the course of conversation, Baba remarked, "Everyone is in the habit of justifying his own actions and moves heaven and earth to establish what he said or did was right, no matter how insignificant it may be." Baba inquired if the man from Dehradun was justified in selling the jewels of his wife to defray his traveling expenses. Baba stated he should have sold his own things. Why should he have made the poor woman suffer for him? Well, pause the recording here to switch readers. Okay, we resume the recording and Hari Priya is reading. Go ahead, Hari Priya.
Satara in 1955. In response to Baba's cutting comments, the rights of the husband in Hindu society were discussed. Baba cited the instances of King Harish Chandra and Saint Meera. The former sold his wife. The former sold his wife, while the later forsook her husband. Hmm. The former sold his wife, while the later forsook her husband. Every man expressed his own view, but instead of continuing the subject, Baba said, "Whenever I wish to take rest, something comes in a way. Yesterday until the afternoon, I was busy with the arrangements of today's meeting. Just when I finished the work and began playing checkers, Nariman, Dake, Deshmukh, and others arrived, and I had to quit the game. Then I talked with them and went to Grafton, where I wished to rest and remain undisturbed. But in few minutes, The news came that two persons from Dehradun were waiting for my darshan. Thus, it always happens. Whenever I wish to take rest, some such annoyance occurs. Such unwanted happenings spoil my mood. But at times, it is restored in equally unexpected ways. Yesterday, when I came to Rosewood from Grafton, I had a terrible headache. Money told me I would feel well if I read out a letter just received from America. I liked the letter so much that my headache disappeared completely. During the meeting, Baba had the letter read by Jr. In which the American expressed his readiness to stay in India, vowing to see Baba from the clutches of those who wanted to stab him to death. Baba smilingly remarked, "At least there is one person in the world to protect me." Baba then asked Erush to inform the gathering about the accidental death of Adi and Rudha Dubash 5-year-old son, Homi, in Karachi the previous week. When Baba and Mandali were returning from America and Europe in 1952, Rhoda and Adi met Baba at the airport in Karachi with their two sons. Rhoda wanted to put Homi in Baba's arms, but Baba stopped her and instead took their 8-year-old son Mervan on his lap. Similarly, when Adi and Rhoda had met Baba in Satara after September 1954 meeting, Baba asked her about Mervan, but not about Homi. Baba had said, "If I ask you, give me one of your sons, would you give him me willingly?" Rhoda had replied that she would. It was on afternoon of 16th April 1955 when the little homie fell down from the first story window of their home at 3:30 p.m. and was rushed to the hospital where he died within a half an hour without regaining consciousness. Oh, Baba, Jai Baba. Baba had previously issued orders to his lovers to take Baba's name for 24 hours non stop for 1 month. The Karachi group of lovers had therefore arranged the non stop repetition of Baba's name in turn just after the child had plunged to his death. It was Adi Dubshah's turn to participate in the repetition. Even at the critical time, he did his turn. It was Rhoda's turn next, and she too did it. Only after someone persuaded Rhoda to allow her to take her place did they perform the last rites of their young son. They consoled themselves with the thought that Baba had wanted Homi and took him. At the time, Baba had sent his consoling telegram. "Little Homie has come to me and is with me." A small photograph of Homie was also sent to Baba. Even though it was daytime, Baba asked for a flashlight, shined it on the photograph, and later had it mailed back to Duba's family with instructions to have it framed. After Eruch had described the event, Baba explained, "This is not an ordinary thing. It needs most loving heart. If all the japwalas do the japa repetition with such sincerity, it would help my work a great deal. I doubt whether in their place I would have remembered God's name so well." Those who have been participating in maintaining the continuity of prayers, japa, day and night, as desired by me, should go on doing at least until the end of April. If possible, I would prefer them to be continued for the next 3 months until the end of July. But keep in mind, japa itself has no value. No value in the sense of lasting value. Four things have lasting value. First and foremost in importance is the contact with the perfect master. The second thing of the importance is the gift of love from God. If you have come in contact with the perfect master, it is better than receiving the gift of love from God. If you have no perfect master or gift of love, then the third best thing is to render selfless service wholeheartedly. If this is too is not possible, then renounce the world. Keep away from everything that is worldly and spend your time in prayers. If you cannot do any these four things, then perform puja, do japa. When one does not get meat, one should be satisfied with bones. When you come in contact with a perfect master, though, the best thing is to obey him. Perhaps at least one of you will obey me as I want you to. After a short recess, all gathered in the hall at 10 a.m. before continuing the proceedings. Sidhu sang some ghazals as wished by Baba, which pleased him. Baba had dictated a circular to be issued after the meeting, but therefore it was read out. He observed, "It is good for you to have come what when I called you. It is both good and bad for me to have done so." Why bad? When people come to know that I have called a small group meeting in spite of my declaration not to do so, those whom I have not invited for the occasion are likely to be upset for more than one reason when you tell them, as I want you to do, all that you have seen and heard today. The circular is a great importance. Although small in content, it should be printed in different languages and distributed in all provinces. Because what I have said is, it comes from the heart, and hence there is a greater responsibility on those spreading its contents. At the September meeting in Mehrabad, I have said that I would not be seeing anyone again. Yet now I have sent for you, asked you to come without disclosing anyone why and where you were going. Some areas and centers are represented by more than one person among you, while others are represented just one, and yet many others by none. At first, I thought of sending for all the concerned, but that was not found to be practically for many reasons, avoidable and unavoidable. On the other hand, mere circularizing of the instructions was not enough. You must carry my message and emphasize the importance underlying my words at this juncture of crisis for me. Give the widest possible publicity to my instruction, though printed translation in your regional vernaculars. Those who live with me, as well as those who live for me in spite of being away from me, each have individual faults and weakness, but they have no equals. I know. They need not necessarily know. They have been following me all these years, though thick and thin. Thick and thin. I do not mind saying that if I were in their places, I might not have been able to stand what they have stood so splendidly so far.
Thank you. Okay, resuming the recording with Marvin reading.
It is also a fact that it is I who have been helping them to stick to me. The time is drawing near when they will have to maintain their hold on my Daman on their own. I want none to leave me, but if one and all were now to give up, I would not mind at all. For those who choose to remain with me and near me, there is the possibility of greater hardships and even lack of day-to-day provisions after the period of my retirement. I will not at all be displeased with those who feel they have had enough of a life of obedience and who from May or August 1st choose to live a life on their own. I am offering now that freedom to one and all. If you now decide to leave me, you do so honorably, and all you have done so far will continue to stand to your credit. But if, having chosen to stick to me, you later give me up, you would earn the title of Mardud, apostate, condemned, thus wiping out all your past service and obedience to me. Those who decide to stick to me may have to suffer in the future, but one thing is certain, they will not suffer alone. I will equally share with them their hardships and privations. Now, I will tell you one important thing about promises. Baba is always free to give and break promises, but in a way, he binds himself by issuing this Life Circular 25, which applies individually and collectively. Baba then narrated this incident. When he was a schoolboy in Pune, he saw a particular man in the bar adjacent to his house. The man would daily come and drink liquor. Drunk, he would then quietly sit in the bar on one of the chairs until late at night. His wife would come and weep before him, pleading with him to quit, and the man would solemnly promise not to drink the next day. Although he promised sincerely to quit each day, he was completely helpless to do so when the next day came. Baba then stated, "Now, how to explain about my promises?" Baba is helpless in explaining. Why? Whatever Baba does or explains is beyond human understanding. It is not one's fault not to understand me. For how can you understand the perfect one? Some such things that happened at the times of Jesus and Muhammad, some such things had happened at the time of Jesus and Muhammad. Jesus was crucified and Muhammad was stoned and had to flee Mecca. Such actions on the part of perfect ones are not understood by the people. I give promises and break them. This has been going on continually. Some Mandali members think if I stop giving promises, I will be honored much. If some intimate ones feel like this, what would those lovers think who get my sahabas, intimate company, only occasionally? Yet sometimes I myself think, why should I act like this? But that is all. In spite of my declaration, clarification, confirmation, and decision, last night a thought came to me. What was the necessity of issuing a clarification, confirmation, and decision after the declaration. And I got the answer. Now, try to understand. When the declaration was given out, the last three were bound to follow. The phases were implied in the declaration itself. This whole process may be likened to a full-grown mango tree. The declaration can be compared with the sprouting of the tree just above the ground, the clarification with the growing trunk and the branches, the confirmation with the blossom, and the decision with the mangoes. To give another simile, a day is made up of 4 parts. Each part is of 3 hours. Day begins with the first part. The last part is followed by the previous 3 to complete a day. Similarly, the life of a man is divided into 4 main stages, such as childhood, youth, middle age or maturity, and old age. In every stage of creation, you will find these stages. If we all look at the genesis of the universe, we will find the same thing. In the beginningless beginning, that is, in the beyond state, God was unconscious, infinite. The urge, lahar, to know himself, which God had, can be compared with the declaration. Once the urge was there, it could not be stopped. Then out came creation, evolution, and involution, the next 3 phases. God is also infinite knowledge. So as soon as the urge, who am I, arose, he got the answer, I am God. But at the same time, the intervening stages were necessary. Through creation, the answer was clarified. Through evolution, the answer was confirmed, and involution decided that he was God. It is very difficult to explain all these things, for they lie beyond the domain of intellect. A Persian poet has said, as soon as you step on the threshold of spirituality, you need different ears to hear and different eyes to see. Tukaram has also said, the ways of the masters stand in contradiction to those of the world. Don't think that through all these explanations I am trying to justify my actions. Did not the Formosa or Taiwan problem threaten great destruction? Even Nehru, in one of his speeches, said that half the world could be destroyed. With the exclusion of the time factor, all I have said will come to pass. For whatever I have said, God has made me say it. Listen very carefully to what I say now. For the 3 months, May to July 1955, do not think much about your wife, children, money. For should you have such thoughts when the avatar may be required to drop his body? The soldiers on active service willingly sacrifice their lives just to possess a piece of ground. Would it be of any great importance if you sacrifice your life for the avatar? If you fail to have such readiness, your coming over here to attend the meetings would be doing nothing more than a picnic. Now, one more point. All the explanations and articles have no connection with reality. It is all a play of words and has no lasting value. Reality is beyond mind, beyond intellect. The very fact when you say that you have intellectually understood reality shows that you have misunderstood it. To have real understanding, consciousness must remain and intellect or mind must go. very real understanding, consciousness must remain. Wait. The very fact that you say that you have intellectually understood reality shows that you have misunderstood it. To have real understanding, consciousness must remain, and intellect or mind must go. It does not mean becoming mad like Punjya, an inmate in the mad ashram at Rahuri. What I mean is that intellect should be the means of wholeheartedly achieving ends that are accepted by the heart. If you obey me with all your heart, intellect will go and consciousness will remain. A person may be very intelligent, but if he has not the fortune to have the company of a Sadguru, he will not get self-realization. On the other hand, a person, though dull, who has that rare fortune to have the company of a perfect master, can have self-realization. And I myself will bow down to such a person who is fortunate enough to be very intelligent and at the same time who has love for and the company of a perfect master. Even after coming in contact with a perfect master, it is very difficult to obey him. Suppose you believe me to be the perfect one, and while obeying me, even if you have a passing thought doubting my perfection, it would not be perfect obedience. Changing the topic, Baba observed, Savak Kotwal keeps night watch. One night I asked him, how do I look? April is quite near. Savak replied, Baba, you look quite younger. As I asked him about my physical end, dropping the body, Savak replied, in my opinion, still 20 years are to pass. This is his interpretation, and he is free to express it. But one thing, don't try to thrust your opinions and interpretations on others. Someone said, Baba, you are the avatar, and we don't doubt your perfection. We need your presence more and more. The whole world needs you. Baba smiled and stated, for the present, I say nothing regarding avatarhood, but take it from me that this is certain. There is no equal to me in the whole world. The worst or best qualities, I do not know. Baba asked Erich to read out the circular titled, The Die is Cast. While Erich was reading it, it started raining. Baba remarked, the circular, has come out of my heart, and so it is raining. And this must be the circular. According to my final decision, except for the time factor, everything will happen in every detail and sequence as declared, clarified, and confirmed by me. There is now no limitation to any point in time, nor contact with any point in time. Things may happen after 1 month or 3 months, after 3 years or 20 years. In short, I may speak tomorrow, or my silence may be broken after 10 years. I am free from all promises, bindings, undertakings, and arrangements. No one should therefore ask for anything material or spiritual from me at any time or on any account. I will do what I think to be the best for one and all, and when I deem it fit. It is only on the above basis, paragraphs 2 and 3, that all concerned must now decide whether to give up or hold on to my Dhamman, that is, to believe in me, revere me, and remain devoted to me by following my orders and instructions. The period of 3 months from May 1st to July 31st, 1955, is a period of crisis for me. I must go into retirement for 3 reasons: for myself, for those who love me, and for all. Okay, I think I'll take a break here.
Okay, I'll pause the recording. Okay, resuming the recording with Meher Kiran reading.
Satara, 1955. A. During the period of my stay in Jal Villa, Satara, I will not step out of the central rooms of the bungalow. B. I may or may not eat and sleep regularly for the duration of the crisis. C. I am not bound to remain at any one place during or after the first month of my retirement. I may change my plans at any moment and might undertake to go on foot from place to place or go into even greater solitude. No one should, under any circumstances, come to see me or communicate with me directly or indirectly for any reason whatsoever up to the end of July 1955. All those closely connected with me, all those who love me, and all those who care to follow my instructions must be scrupulously honest, must strictly abstain from sexual actions, and must try to spread my message of love and truth as far and wide as possible during the period of crisis of 3 months. After Eruch finished reading the circular in English, Deshmukh and Dake translated it immediately into Marathi. Eruch read it again in English, as wished by Baba. Baba then said, "Now I will explain about holding fast to my Daman. Hold me or leave me. Don't try to compromise. One thing is definite and fixed. If I am the highest of the high, or if I am the lowest of the low, and you hold fast to my Daman, you will be where I will be. This depends on how fast is your grip on my Daman. It matters not if you are saints or sinners. I will give you one example. In my boyhood, I liked very much to fly kites. You know that kites have long tails, and as they soar high in the skies, the tails flutter vigorously. If they hold fast to the kite, they go where the kite flies. It matters little whether the tails are stuck with fine gum or some dirty thing. What is needed is that the grip should not loosen. In the same way, whether you are sinners or saints, if you hold fast to my Daman, you will be wherever I will be. Now, by holding fast means what? It means to keep Baba pleased always. And how to please him? By your obeying him wholeheartedly. All these years it was I who held fast to your garment. Now the time has come that you should hold fast, firm to mine. Sometimes I think no one from among you can do that, for I myself could not do it. The period of 3 months is very critical for me. During the seclusion, I may suffer from paralysis. From the 1st of August, you can do correspondence, but I am not bound to reply. The following instructions for the monthly staying in Satara were then read out. 1. One and all are now free to decide to hold onto Baba's Daman. Open brackets, life of obedience to Baba. Close brackets. Just up to the end of July 1955 or to the very end. They are equally free to leave Baba and live as they like and to do what they want after the 30th of April or after the 31st of July 1955. In any case, every individual must arrive at a decision on his own quite freely and according to one's own free choice. But in every case, the decision must be really decisive and final. 3. Those who cannot help feeling that they have had enough of the life of obedience to Baba had better now leave Baba and do what they can in order to live as best as they want. Baba would not at all be displeased because he is offering this freedom of choice on his own, equally to one and all who have so far stuck to him so splendidly through thick and thin. It is far better to live now than to become a mardut. In brackets, apostate condemned. It is far better to live now than to become a mardut by leaving Baba after deciding to hold on to him. 4. Therefore, those who would like to leave Baba should do so before the 1st of May or after the 31st of July 1955. Those who now decide to continue to remain with Baba, and yet if anyone from among them leaves before the end of the relative definite or indefinite periods decided upon, that is, at the end of the July 1955 or the very end, that one will lose all his connection with Baba. And whatever service he has rendered to this day will all get washed out. Before arriving at one's decision, Baba wants one and all to give full consideration to the following facts. A. Baba would not mind at all if one and all decide to give up and do leave him now or after July 31st. B. Baba does not at all want or wish that anyone should leave him. C. Baba always likes one to hold on to his daman, in brackets obey, to the very end. D. After the period of 3 months, it may or may not be possible to provide all with regular food, clothing, and daily necessities. But in that case, Baba will actually share fully with the Mandali whatever privations they may have to suffer and whatever shortcomings they will have to put up with. E. Up to now, Baba has had to keep his hold on the Mandali. The time has now come when it is left to each one of them to maintain his individual hold on Baba's Daman. 6. Every one of the Mandali must declare his final decision before Baba in clear words, without any mental reservations, before Baba retires into seclusion on 1st May. Monthly payments. Those concerned with monthly distribution may continue to receive monthly payments after July, as long as it would be possible to continue the monthlies. There is also the possibility of completely stopping all payments or reducing them to half or quarter proportions on and after August 1st. Referring to this, Baba said, "For those who are with me through thick and thin for the last so many years and have deep love for me, there is no group who would stand equal to my Mandali. I have humored them, chuckled them, and whatnot. But they have not left me. Everyone has his defects, but I only look to the love they have for me. This time I want to see who remains and who goes. All these years you were with me because I had caught hold of you all. Now I am going to free you. So it is all the more necessary that you hold my daman tighter and tighter. Baba explained to his Mandali in Satara that they were free to decide whether they wanted to live with him or live away from him. But he had asked Eru to look after his personal needs, as Kaka Bharya used to do years before, that he at least should decide to remain with him. But if he really wanted to live away from him, then, said Baba, I tell you now, I do not mind. Baba continued. Nowadays, I ask Eruch for his free and frank opinion whenever I am in doubt about my dealings with others. Yesterday evening, I asked him if I was right in giving darshan to the two persons from Dehradun. He replied that I was not right in doing so. I asked why. He said it was against my own order. Again, my action of giving rupees 100 to each of them as prasad was also objectionable in his eyes. Because he said that had they been allowed to suffer for the risk of love they had undertaken, they would have remembered Baba more and more. Last night I thought over his replies and found that whatever I did was right. How? I had declared that I would not give darshan to anyone, nor would I distribute prasad. But I had also declared that I would not have any meetings too. And now I have called you all here for this small group meeting. Now, when I call a meeting, was it fair on my part to deny darshan to those persons who came from such a long distance? Concluding, Baba then spoke about the provisions of food, clothing, and so on, made for the Mandali during the 3 months of May to July 1955. He said the provisions for the period until July end is made. For that period, I cannot say definitely what would be the monetary position. Most of the sources of income from the east and west have dried up. Perhaps we may be required to beg, but I assure you, the Mandali, who would decide to stay with me, that I will share in every way, including food, clothing, etc., with you all. Baba also mentioned that a special standing provision for the woman Mandali had been arranged. Baba continued, this would be the time of greater difficulties and hardships. So if anyone decides to leave me now, I would be happy. Otherwise, I tell you, there will be no end to difficulties. Of course, by this I do not mean that you should purposely decide to live away from me. Only if you feel like living away from me can you freely do so. Baba joked, I have a very small heart, and so when the Mandali suffer physically and mentally, I feel happy. And what they got, and when they get good food and enjoy amenities, I feel unhappy. For I have a very small heart. General orders for everyone for the 3 months from 1st May to 31st July were read out by Aruch.
Thank you, Meher Kiran. One.
I was surprised to learn Kaka Bharya used to do what Aruch is doing. Oh, I didn't know that.
1. Kaikobad and Nilu shall continue to stay in their respective western and eastern wings of Jal Villa as now. Except for them and those on duty there, none shall go, or will be allowed to go, to Jal Villa unless called by Baba. 2. Only those allotted duties in Jal Villa should be there for the purpose of their respective duties, according to instructions given to them individually and collectively. 3. unless when called by Baba, no one shall enter Baba's central rooms in Jal Villa. 4. None shall directly or indirectly say or do or cause to be said or done anything by way of making Baba take notice of anything about anybody, or so as to make Baba ask questions about anyone or anything. 5. As and when during these months Baba happens to question anyone, he must answer straight and truthfully, but only about the point or points involved, without withholding facts, and at the same time, without taking advantage of the question in order to communicate to Baba anything about anyone else not directly covered by the question from Baba. 6. Erich, and in case he is too ill or dead, then Vishnu, or if the latter dies or is unavailable, then Pendu shall inform Baba immediately about the serious illness, death, or any serious calamity, actual or reported, concerning A, the ladies, Sheba and Peter at Grafton, B, the resident Mandali, and C, those very closely connected with Baba in or outside of Satara. Point 7. Mahera and Mani are allowed to call on Baba and enter his rooms once every week. Goher shall not enter Jal Villa premises under any circumstances, except when called by Baba. Number 8. Anybody known or unknown, or an intimate one from any place, shall not be allowed to see Baba for any reason, under any circumstances. 9. Once the retirement begins, things might happen during the 3 months that may lead to an official or unofficial disturbance to Baba, and therefore all concerned shall employ every possible moral and legal means in order to strictly let Baba alone for the duration of the 3 months ending on July 31, 1955. Number 10, in case of absolute necessity arising out of emergencies like death, accident, or serious illness of near relatives or dependents, and in case of unavoidable official and legal requirements, one can leave Satara during the period of 3 months for as few days as possible, after arriving at mutual adjustment of duties with the rest of the Mandali. I'll pause the recording. Resuming with Marvin.
If and when Baba's body is dropped within the 3 months, then A, the ladies at Grafton are to be informed at once, and along with them, the body to be removed to Mehrabad and buried there in the presence of Mera in the tomb specially constructed for this purpose long ago. B, as long as Mera remains alive, all the other ladies concerned shall continue to live with Mera. C, when Mera dies, she is to be buried next to and to the right side of Baba's tomb. D, in all other respects, the ladies and the resident Mandali are to do what they think best according to the means and facilities available to them. Number 12, in case of death of anyone among the resident Mandali during the period of 3 months, A, the nearest kith and kin of the deceased are to be informed at once, and the body is to be disposed of as desired by them within practical possibilities. B. In case no particular desires are expressed by those concerned, then circumstances permitting, first preference for the disposal of the dead body is to be given as follows. Kaikobad at the Tower of Silence in Ahmednagar. Vishnu, cremation in Mehrabad. Nilu, cremation in Mehrabad. Bao, cremation in Mehrabad. Kumar, cremation in Mehrabad. Krishna, cremation in Mehrabad. Cremation. Alaba, burial in Mehrabad. Pendu, burial in Mehrabad. Baidu, burial in Mehrabad. Ustaji, burial in Mehrabad. Dawn, burial in Mehrabad. Kotwal, burial in Mehrabad. Erich, burial in Mehrabad. Krishnaji, burial in Mehrabad. Thereafter, calling each of the men Mandali to him, Baba asked his decision. He had already had a written agreement from Bao, who had promised not to leave him under any circumstances. For the women Mandali staying at Grafton, these instructions were issued. 1. Mera and Mani shall call on Baba at Jal Bila once every week during the 3 months of May, June, and July 1955. 2. Gohar shall not call at Jal Bila unless called by Baba. 3. Gohar, if not available, then Rano shall immediately inform Ericho Vishnu or Pendu to inform Baba at once in case of serious illness, accident, etc. To the ladies, or either Sheba or Peter at Grafton. 3 or 4. If the existing arrangements do not continue after the period of 3 months, then the ladies are to fall upon the reserve kept aside and pull on accordingly. 5. Same as above to apply to Sheba and Peter at Grafton. 6. Baba will decide himself, if his body is not dropped, as to where the ladies will stay after the period of 3 months. If not, then General Order Number 11 is to be followed. 7. In case of death among the ladies, the body is to be removed to Mehrabad and buried on the hill there as follows. 1. Mera next to and to the right side of Baba's tomb. Naja next to Mera's and to the right side of Baba's tomb. Meru's next to Naja's and to the right side of Baba's tomb. Mani next to and to the left side of Baba's tomb. Gohar next to Mani's and to the left side. Rano's next to Gohar's and to the left side. A list showing where the Mandali members, when dead, would be buried or cremated was then handed to Padri. Regarding the credit attributed to him for miracles by some of his lovers, Baba remarked, I often wonder at the coincidences and so-called miracles that happen, but these matters are not of any great importance. In spiritual history, it has always been the case that most insignificant things are magnified. By doing this, the lovers do not understand that such overestimation lowers the spiritual status of their master, and I am afraid history will repeat itself again. Baba distributed mangoes to everyone present. He, however, showed his displeasure when Balna II asked him about some previous orders given to Mauni Bua. As a punishment, Baba ordered Nat II to sell 50 copies of Baba's childhood photo with his high school cricket team. He also asked Balna II to inform Mauni Bua to continue his silence until the end of July 1955. Baba later reduced the number of photographs to be sold by Natu to 5. About that picture of young Merwan with the cricket team, Baba remarked, for so many years I was searching for that one ideal boy. But when I saw that photograph, I thought, I have found the ideal boy. Someone said, "Well, Baba, then that's the end of your search for the ideal boy?" "No," Baba immediately responded. "This is just a photograph." The meeting then concluded at 3:30 p.m. Baba had been with them continuously for almost 8 hours. He did not embrace or shake hands with those who had come. He simply raised his hand in farewell, and that memorable smile on his face as he left for Grafton. All the out-of-town lovers departed for their homes that same day or the next morning, and discussions about Baba's seclusion began.
And the side note says Kishan Singh left on 2 May 1955. End of note.
All right, maybe it's a good, let me see here.
Should we ask Meher Karan if you would like to read another page, Meher? Or are you busy?
Maybe, all right, because it does seem to still be in the middle of something. The men Mandali, staying with Baba in Satara, were given certain duties from the beginning of May to the end of July 55. The watchmen in Jalbila were Erich from 6 a.m. to 12 noon, Kumar from 12 noon to 6 p.m., Bao from 6 p.m. to midnight, and Baidul from midnight to 6 a.m. If anyone from the above named men falls ill, Baba instructed, then Pendu would do the duty of the sick person. Additional duties were Alaba, management of the Mandali. Oh boy. Baidul, duty as watchman and to repeat God's name. Baal, to keep watch and do correspondence. Don, as usual, attending medical needs. Erich, duty as watchman and correspondence. Ustaji, as usual, observing silence. Kaikobad, as usual, repeating Baba's name. Kotwal, to keep watch at Jalbila from 8:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Krishnaji, to observe silence as usual. Krishna Nair, to keep watch at Grafton from 8:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Kumar, duty as watchman, and in case Himat Singh, the groom of the horse Sheba, falls ill or leaves service, then do his duty as well. Nilu, as usual, attending medical needs. Pendu, if Vishnu falls ill or goes to Pune, he should do Vishnu's daily marketing. Ramju, duty as a watchman, if Pendu is handicapped in Vishnu's absence, or in case 2 of the 4 watchmen fall ill. And Vishnu, duty of grocery and other shopping for men, Mandali, and women, and to keep accounts. The duties assigned to the Mandali in the meeting of 24 April 55, however, were subsequently changed. Bao was to be on guard with Erich from 6 a.m. to noon in Jalbila. The duties in Jalbila included sweeping the whole bungalow, washing the stone floor, clearing Baba's utensils, filling his water pots, airing his bedding, making his bed daily, and bringing from Grafton his tea and food, which were prepared by the women Mandali. Another important change was also effected. Baba gave each of the Mandali rupees 30 per month with instructions to see to their own food arrangements. Erich and Bao's duties were such that they could neither go out to make the necessary purchases, nor could they cook for themselves because of lack of time.
Okay, I'll stop the recording here. Pick it
All
up
right.
next week.